Hey everyone, and we're back with a podcast 29.
This is part one with all the news of the past 3 weeks,
2 weeks, something like that. Yes.
something like that. But if you want to check out a topic, we're discussing augmented reality, reshaping marketing landscape from novelty to necessity, and whether AR is dead. That will be in part two. But this episode is mainly just the news.
Yes, the first part, as last time, it's going to be the news section. And if you're interested in a bigger topic, you can go to the next podcast, part 2. So, talking about weird news. I want to kick it off. I literally watched it today, and it was about the UK Online Safety Act. Have you heard about it?
Briefly, I've heard about this. Yeah.
So basically what happened, it was fully enforced on July 25th. So the mandate strict age verification for harmful online content. So basically, they're going to be banning VPNs.
Oh yeah.
So it was very interesting because I was looking at the news and looks like that this Online Safety Act is basically a privacy invasion. They're like, oh, do you want to watch this controversial video about international news? Therefore, you need to upload your ID, upload your passport, get whatever, a license, and you cannot use the VPN to do that. If you will, you will get charged with basically like, almost terrorism, like, let's say, fees. Because what are you doing? You're trying to get into a foreign news propaganda.
Yeah.
So basically UK is kind of a new iron curtain
Yeah.
by like basically having this privacy violation. So people obviously dislike because it's like, hey, I have to provide my sensitive data if I want to watch a cat meme from China on Meta. Then it's like ineffectiveness, right? So basically the age checks and kind of people who want to bypass using the VPN is also like kind of violating my privacy as well. Censorship, because then they're going to be in an iron curtain and kind of they will not be able to get the news from abroad. And who defines
A great
censorship?
firewall of China.
Exactly. It's like, who defines what is censorship? And UK decides that they're like, we're gonna protect all the kids from harmful content. And then it was actually a video where someone during an interview asked Trump and said like, hey Trump, this new regulation in UK is gonna limit traffic to your website because it's foreign. It's gonna be outside the UK. He's like, no, they will not. It's like, yeah, it will. And the guy from UK, like ministry or something, he's like, no, we were gonna limit only for kids, and so kids don't watch any kind of outside bad news and stuff like that. Trump was very upset.
This is actually becoming a thing because at the same time, Visa and MasterCard are starting to regulate content based on whether it fits Christian values, because of a specific group of people that lobbied against the usage of the viewing of corn, and they decided that they're gonna side with this Christian lobby group. And people have been like making their lives hell now because by calling them up and saying, hey, I'm one of your customers and I don't approve of this. You can't just cut people off like this. And but you might be like, it's just corn. Who's gonna care, right?
Yeah.
But the thing about regulating adult content is, if you start doing that, somebody has to define adult content. And then suddenly they'll be like, this has a shot of like one gay person in it. This has a shot of like a trans person in it. So it effectively makes their lives much harder for them to communicate. You can't even have mentions of, for example, atheism in that regard.
Well, I
It's
mean,
a Christian group. It's like they're making up the rules. They get to decide what is and is not sacrilege.
I understand. For me, this is more of like, I look at this in the bigger picture. If UK passes this regulation, that means they can literally kind of, it's an authoritarian creep, right? So many see this as a move in the wrong direction, because if it passes, imagine other countries going to say, oh, you know what? That's a great idea. You know what we're going to do? Block the outside internet and censor everything.
Just to be clear, I was talking about the Visa MasterCard case, which is completely different from this one.
Yeah.
So nobody get those two confused. Those are two very different issues.
Yeah. In the previous podcast, we have spoke about the fact that MasterCard and Visa and payment systems, they're cutting out games from Steam and cutting out basically a lot of providers as well that, well, MasterCard and Visa during online digital payments do not agree with. So they're basically cutting out businesses that do not
align with their values.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's the problem. And in this case, it's like, oh, we as a government, we decided what is good for the population, and we're gonna fine people for installing VPNs because we think you should not watch anything that is outside the country because that maybe opens up a little bit too much. I don't know. Like this is weird for me. This is like authoritarian creep, right? They're just gonna be monitoring what you do. They're gonna fine you if you use a VPN. I don't like that.
I also have a suspicion this is about how it messes with data collection, VPNs. I imagine makes it much harder to track who's doing what. That's the real reason. It's not really about, oh, you might watch something dangerous for you. It's more like, hey, we need to know exactly who's where and who's watching what.
Yeah, but then that is a little bit of a like outdated system. Me as a marketeer, I know the things I need to know.
Yeah.
So for example, if you visit a website and I can see that, hey, this person visited from Germany, but I know you're in the Netherlands, but your browser, well, Germany, bad example, let's say from Lithuania. You visit from Lithuania, your VPN is set up for Lithuania, but you visit the website, your browser timestamp says you're on the time zone from Netherlands. So some smarter tracking tools, they would say, no, this is a misalignment. He's visiting from Lithuania, but his PC for some reason is a time zone of, let's say, the Netherlands and Spain and France and Germany. So therefore, that's an issue. So it's gonna self-correct it. But some older systems, they do not have that. So if you're thinking about like the government, I'm not sure how they're benefiting that because the companies will have to follow that rule, right? It's not about even like we want to know all the people who visit the government website where they're coming from. That makes no sense. I would never go there.
Yeah, but the government needs to know.
Maybe that's a good point.
I'm not talking about companies anymore. I'm talking about the authoritarian creep of the government.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's true. But in my perspective, I'm like, if this get passed, that means other countries would get inspired to use this, and I see that as a problem.
Yeah, but it's also like the ISPs get a certain amount of information, and I think, the government claims to be pro privacy, so they certainly don't have the elaborate amount of tools other people do, and if they get caught using them, I just think it's about them making their own lives easier.
Maybe that's true, but for me, I just disagree with the fact that this is this is what's happening.
I'm not saying I'm pro this. I'm just explaining a possible rationale for their evil.
Yeah, but it just passed. That's it. And the thing is that the UK citizens, they basically started gathering signatures against that. So they basically like, we're gonna protest this.
Yeah.
They gather all the signatures, but the government's like, you know what? We don't care. We're still gonna pass it. So they basically disregarded the population, and they're trying as fast as possible to pass this thing.
Yeah.
So it's insane for me. So when I read this, I'm like, I get a little bit again upset about the world.
Yeah, well, a lot to be upset about.
Fair. What do you have?
So, you heard about Spotify publishing AI-generated songs of established dead artists?
Yes, I read the title, but I haven't read the whole article. Tell me.
Yeah, so there's a singer called Blaze Foley, and he's been dead for a while. So suddenly, people who follow him on Spotify found that he uploaded a new song under a pseudonym called Syntax Error, and the song was titled Together. And people are like, wow, new material. And then they listen to it, and it's clearly AI generated, and it's taking all his music and sort of doing a weird sort of thing with it.
Uh-huh.
And then 404 Media contacted his portfolio manager, and the statement from him is, I can clearly tell you this song is not Blaze, not anywhere near Blaze's style at all. It's kind of an AI schlock bot, if you will. It has nothing to do with Blaze, that whole posting has the authenticity of an algorithm. So now it's a bit about like, who did this and how. Yeah.
So they don't know. Like, it basically like randomly appeared. Was he hacked or something?
I have no idea. We have no idea how they're doing this. And then there was like this same pseudonym was used again, called Syntax Error. If you guys want to look it up. And another deceased musician's account got uploaded with by this guy called Guy Clark. For this guy called Guy Clark, whose account it was. So the thing is, this feels like a weird stunt.
Might be.
Some AI songwriting tool company is just getting somehow getting the accounts of these people and then posting stuff.
Like a promotional material for their own company.
Yeah, but if it is that, they haven't promoted their company very well.
That's true, because this is like a scandal.
Yeah, and so some bot just freaking did this itself. Usually, you have to do this through, DistroKid or CD Baby or one of those platforms to get to these to get these uploads on these major platforms. But this was only on Spotify, as far as I know.
Yeah, this looks like a directed attack, maybe.
Might be that.
Yeah, but it's interesting. I heard as well that, well, I think mentioned this a few podcasts before, that Spotify is now literally people just generating like a lot of fake music that they upload, and the fake bots traffic that is being sent to them just to kind of play the algorithm. And then in your recommendations, you have these pop-ups of AI generated country music or something. People are like okay with that, which is for me super weird.
I don't know. Most people just don't realize it. And if you're the type of person who just listens to playlists in the background while you're working, you might, and you don't like paying attention to music, you might enjoy that stuff.
Maybe.
Like, I tried to listen to, so what was it called? Velvet Sundown or something like that? This was an AI generated band.
Mm-hmm.
And I out of curiosity, I started listening, and I just couldn't stand it.
No? Is it like super obvious?
It sounds like the most like B-side versions of Creedence Clearwater Revival or like early Led Zeppelin.
Okay.
And it's just so okay. But now that we're getting into this part, it's so like machine generated, because if you listen to those old Led Zeppelin albums, you can really hear that they're playing without like a click track even.
Uh-huh.
By
feeling, by vibes.
Yeah, it's they're like jamming in the studio. You can feel that, and the production isn't always smooth and clean. And this is so algorithmic that I always feel like, wow, this is like what a studio executive thinks Led Zeppelin sounds like.
Okay, fair enough.
And it's just too clean. It's way too clean, and it's trying to mimic the 70s style, but it's so polished that you're like, yeah, but there's none of the grit and none of the sort of
soul in a way.
Soul in a way, but and that's very like saying soul doesn't really cover it, because there's something more psychological there for me going on. I knew the band was AI, and if it popped up otherwise, I would just think, this sounds like some wannabes from the 70s, maybe, but it's just it's not for me. But I can understand that some people just leave it on, and if it enters their playlist, they'll like, okay, it's just noise for me to work to or something like that.
Fair enough.
That's one of the things, but like AI is really good for that kind of spam.
Or beats. You can do like instrumental stuff that is just like elevator music, background music.
Do you know about I'm forgetting the guy's name, but his YouTube channel's name. But he's an artist by the name of Underbelly.
No.
He does live streams on Twitch.
Okay.
And he sometimes uses AI prompts to start with, and then resamples them.
Okay, I think that's a clever idea, right?
Yeah,
it gives him some sort of starting point.
Yeah, and he'll go from there, and then he'll fix it, correct it, get the stems, and he'll get the individual stems, not the whole track. So like he'll put it in and then like mangle it in like interesting ways. It's kind of like using it the same way as a loop library.
Yeah. So, but he's like basically using whatever AI spits out first.
Yeah, bits and pieces of it. But if you mangle it again, you might as well.
Yeah, you might as well record your washing machine first and then also loop it or whatever. Or
it's just one technique in a sea of millions.
Yeah,
it's not doing something revolutionary. It's just like using a sound library, like I said.
Yeah, no, that's a nice way of doing it. Moving on, the next piece of news: T-App.
Oh yeah, we both had this, and we surprised each other by, for once, grabbing the same piece of news.
Yeah, man, this was great. So for me, when I saw the T-App, my first thought was when I read this controversy. So for everyone who doesn't know, there's a T-App that is designed for women to anonymously discuss like and vet potential male dates. Recently, it like exploded online, and it had
It's
like millions of users.
it
So
comes from the term spilling the tea.
yeah, exactly. So you basically go on I don't know, on Tinder or Bumble or whatever those apps are. You see a guy, you make a screenshot, you can upload a picture, and then you'll basically spill the tea, or you'll see the other people who matched and spoke to that person, that guy, let's say.
Yeah.
They would spill the tea about that guy, the things they know, the background, maybe the red flags, and so on. So the purpose is to kind of enhance women's dating safety and allowing them to kind of see the red flags if they're cheating or some sort of abusing, or if it's green flags, so about like men using tools like basically to give the guy is like okay. So yeah, and there are a few controversies there. My first thought when I heard about it, I'm like, imagine a guy would do that. Imagine the guy was like, oh, I'm gonna upload this girl's picture on some public forum and we're gonna discuss it.
I've thought about that, but well, men do that. But
But there's not an app for that.
there's not an app for that. But that's what Reddit is for.
I know, but this is the controversy, right? For me, I'm like,
I know.
if this
But-
would happen from like a guy perspective, I'm like, that would be such a scandal. But from a girl, it's like, oh, that's fine, spill the tea, girl.
I don't think it is, because guys guys get away with like revenge porn and shit like that.
That's true. That's
Okay.
hardcore.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I feel two ways about this. One is the privacy issue, where I'm like, we should not be creating a surveillance culture around dating. You know,
That's true.
we should not be doing the guys. Not everything needs to be an app.
It's about efficiency, man. Efficiency.
I know, but like, yeah, god damn it. But at the same time, this is also a way for like, women to warn each other about like dangerous men. You know, the old adage, men are afraid a woman will laugh at them, women are afraid a man will kill them.
Okay.
You know, the idea of these social expectations, because when women usually like reject men, the thing is more of like an ego pain. When women reject men, they're like, holy shit, I hope he doesn't turn out to be a psycho.
Wow, that took a twist.
Yeah, but so I understand both sides of this. On the one hand, I'm like, privacy, please, not everything needs to be an app. This is just content brain, nonsense. And the other side is obviously, women are like, there's a lot of freaks on the internet.
What happened to normal, getting to know each other and investing time and, spending...
I mean, I like to say I check the reviews before I buy anything.
Fair, but this sounds like it's almost human trafficking in a way.
Human trafficking, wow.
It's like,
I don't think that's what that
he's I don't know, like you can abuse, like, he's a green flag, he always pays for dinner. You're like, I'm hungry
But
today.
that's a thing too, though. Like, for example, red flag, green flag is something men and women both do to each other on the internet.
Maybe I'm so outside of the dating world that I have no idea how it works now.
I see this. There's like literally people whose entire content is this a red flag or is this a green flag?
Oh my God.
Sort of a YouTube short. So then they'll be like, I went out with this girl and she said this. Well, red flag or green flag? Literally, and then that's comment bait.
Oh my God.
So this is the whole type of content that's out there. So men and women both do this to each other, but formalizing it in the form of an app is like
Effort.
That's effort.
It's a lot of effort.
But anyway, it got breached.
Yes, that's the T.
So when people were reviewing the code, they found out that there were some really basic security lapses in there, and one of the big problems is messages got leaked. People giving each other phone numbers got leaked, and lots of data like driver's licenses was used to verify that got leaked. So this is a huge data scandal, and it was probably leaked by the very, very worst type of guy.
I totally agree. I could already see this guy's like, you know what I'm gonna do? Post it on Reddit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, but the thing was to put some numbers behind. So approximately 72,000 images. Including 13,000 selfies and government IDs that were submitted for verification, and 59,000 images from posts and messages. So later it was revealed that 1.1 million private messages were also leaked. For me, the crazy part was that they said they will delete all the government IDs after verification, which they did not.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So they kept it on the server.
I mean, every app company is doing this.
It's terrible. I hate that.
Yeah. Nothing we can do about that shit.
Yeah, but it's for me. I put one of the bullet points is hypocrisy and mismanagement. Right, the app was built on the premise of safety.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, okay.
right. It's like
Good points.
so it was built like, oh, women should be safe when using this app to avoid, dangerous men. Yet its own security was really lacking, and the fact that verification photos, which were supposed to be deleted after verification, were actually leaked. So this is like again this kind of a hypocrisy and also doxing concerns because, as you mentioned, a lot of phone numbers, selfies, chats. Maybe addresses were leaked in those messages, and basically now it's public to the internet, so you can go in and find any guy that they basically spoke to that was completely doxed. That's crazy for me. I'm like, so now I'm like, I want to be safe, and now all my personal data and everything I told to every woman I was dating is going to be online. So yeah, very interesting. And as you said, the vigilante justice, like I think the guy was so salty, he's like, I'm gonna do it. Hack it.
I bet he had some comments on there.
I wish.
It.
I'm so
Maybe.
curious to hear if this is gonna be like evolving into something else.
Do you think he'll ever get caught? Whoever did this?
No.
Huh, yeah.
I don't think so. It's not the biggest app in the world.
Yeah.
I think the guys who are building the app should be actually spoke to that, because again, it's double standards, the ethical background of this app and so on. I actually haven't read who's the owner, the founder, or developer. Is it like a team? Is it a company? Do you know?
No idea on my side either.
Also, there's something interesting to check.
Yeah. Either way, if anybody knows, leave it in the comments.
Please.
So, speaking about apps and security and what you should and should not put on there,
Tell me.
OpenAI.
Oh my god. Oh yeah, these guys. Now it's like the third best. Like we have Trump, we have Elon Musk, who's haven't appeared in a while.
Oh yeah, he's laying low. He's laying low.
Yeah.
Like we could have put him in, but they weren't major stories. It's usually just his brain dead tweets.
And now Sam Altman is the third person who's showing up more and more on our news section.
The AI front is heating up.
That's
true. And so I've got a story about Sam Altman saying that everything you say to ChatGPT can and will be used against you in court.
I read that.
Yeah.
Your chat will be deleted after 30 days. Not.
Yeah. I mean, they store it for data. Jesus.
Yeah.
So if you go to ChatGPT about your most sensitive stuff, and then there's like a lawsuit or whatever, like we could be required to produce that. This is what Sam Altman said.
Produce, not like
if the police request it, like a FOIA request or something. But like imagine you have a joint ChatGPT account with somebody and one of them is getting sued for, I don't know, maybe breaching their contract at work and revealing some data, and they use ChatGPT to work. Then all of your data will be folded in with this other person who's been using your same account, and then everything you said and they said will all be have to be presented.
And it's gonna be created, right? Like for me, that's the word that scares me, because it's gonna be like a synthesis of things, right?
Yep, they'll all be mangled together.
Or it's gonna be you because you're the owner of the account or something.
Yeah.
Wow, no, that's crazy. For me, the first thing I thought, I know that Google, Twitter, Facebook probably as well, and LinkedIn, what they have, it's called Transparency Center.
Yeah.
So basically, they publicly show how many FBI or CIA or police requests do they get for opening up the data of specific users.
Yeah.
And they say how many they opened up, how many they declined. So for example, I remember back when it was Twitter, there was transparency.twitter.com on what happened. There you can go and you can see a map, and you can click on regions or states in US or specific countries and see if anyone has requested data about specific users or criminals or whatever, terrorists, something who basically broke the law and was legitimate enough to actually request that personalized data. Or someone tweeted something, in UK right now, you can get arrested if you tweet something bad and share your negative opinion about something, so you can get arrested. So basically, UK police can go to Twitter or Facebook and say, hey, tell me the data from that person, and Facebook would have to put on their transparency center that, hey, we got 3,000 requests from London this year about opening up the data, and we opened up 1 or 5 or 10. So they kind of report that. But this, when they say we have to generate it, that's different. That's super weird.
Yeah. So they will have no way of distinguishing your searches from somebody else who uses the same ChatGPT account. So, yeah, I mean, watch out.
What if it's gonna hallucinate?
That's the other. No, that's the thing though. They'll have a log, right?
Ah,
So it'll be
okay.
question, answer, question, answer, question, answer. It'll be your history
Okay,
of what you
then
were asking.
okay, because you read that it's gonna be at least in the article it mentioned that it's gonna generate, and I'm like, then what is it gonna like synchronize
No,
whatever?
no, I'm pretty sure by generate he just means make a full
Ah,
compilation
okay,
file.
okay.
Compile it.
That's not
But
how I understood this.
if he doesn't, that's a nightmare.
Yeah, well, it's
Like,
just like hallucinate
here's a
whatever.
history of the user as ChatGPT understands it.
Yes, this is terrible.
But yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, please, guys. Even now, ChatGPT can file you to FBI without your consent.
Mm-hmm. What do you got?
My last piece of news is about fake disability epidemic.
Huh.
So basically, online there are millions apparently of videos that fake disability. So people who want to get, for example, into Disney, they would fake a disability. They would, or sometimes people with disability, they would sell they have like a special pass that they can pass through like the queues and waiting time. They would basically can get someone in the Disneyland with their disability card as someone who's like a supporting role or something as a companion, and then they would basically chill and drink cocktails the whole day while the other person with their disability card would go through all the queues and stuff like that. And then obviously Disney started shutting down this, and then that was like more that it's happening. And then I started looking into the controversy of the whole thing, because now also thank you Instagram and TikTok that has disability filters. Yeah, have you heard about that? Basically, there's an AI impersonation. So basically, reports indicate the growing trend of AI-generated accounts impersonating people with Down syndrome. It's like a thirst traps.
I saw this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, like fitness girls or something, they dance whatever, they show their bodies off, but they make them look themselves as if they're disabled and have Down syndrome on platforms like TikTok and Instagram. So these accounts,
Using face filters and stuff like that. Yeah.
yeah, so they're so missing that feel good how do you call it, like emotions. I'm even like so raged now about the situation that basically to gain followers they would thirst trap people pretending that they're having a Down syndrome, and they would get all these comments and unmonetization as well from TikTok for just getting the views.
Yeah, and some of it is just about like having a gimmick for them rather than actually having a disability. They're like, oh, I'll be more popular if I say I'm the Down syndrome thought model.
Exactly. So like it often like younger women who did that, but for me it's always paired with sexualized content as well. So that's the problem I have, that you can use this filter and it's not ethically protected, but I'll get jailed if I use VPN in UK.
Yeah.
But if I pretend I have a Down syndrome in UK, I'm fine.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, with the VPN story, that's more about people monitoring you. This is like, go get that bag. As long as if you're dehumanizing disabled people, nobody cares, I guess.
Yeah, this is what I wrote down as well. The public is very unhappy because this is exploitation basically of the situation. It's widely seen as deeply unethical and exploitative practice, right? It mocks and dehumanizes individuals who actually have a Down syndrome in this particular case, and other, let's say, disabilities that people have. And it's harmful because they also create a different perception for these people. They also they call it theft of identity and experience, because the general disability advocates, they're fighting to educate the public, and these thoughts they said it,
it's also like there's well-meaning people who might want to donate to somebody if they see like, oh, this person has a disability. I'm not saying they should all be doing like that kind of Instagram model nonsense, but some people genuinely be like, oh, I have a disability, please donate to me. And that money could have gone to a disabled person. Now it's going to a liar.
Exactly. So making it harder for real voices to be heard. Like that's the main idea. So underneath the efforts to promote like actually inclusion and understanding, they're promoting this like, look at me, I'm gonna dance and use a filter, give me money. Like it's just, again,
Yeah.
I feel this is very sad.
And I think this is only going to get worse with like AI.
Yes, absolutely. But for me, like there's significant pressure right now as well on the public to keep the platforms accountable for it.
Yeah.
Because they should remove this content, or it has to be some sort of controlled, because it often violates the community guidelines. But TikTok and Instagram doesn't care, because what you have engagement and you have people staying on a platform. So like, who has to be held responsible for the developer who bypassed this, let's say, upload filter, like upload, let's say, verification? Is it the social media company on the platform that has to be held accountable for basically promoting and allowing this to be, on the platform? So very interesting. But basically right now there's like a growing outrage because people, they fake that they don't have a leg, for example, or an arm, and there are filters that like remove your arm. What? This is insane. Like, for me, this is just what I heard this, and I watched a little documentary about like how many millions right now are using this, and accounts are popping up. TikTok, I think, responded. They started blocking it, some of the accounts who were like too much of a thirst trap, but the rest, no, you can re-upload it anywhere. Crazy.
There should be something against that, like especially if you're well, if they're doing it only for clicks, I don't think that you would be able to hold them liable. But if is there they set up like a Patreon or something like that, then that goes into very illegal territory.
But that's what happened. I've seen there was one case where a girl, she's an influencer, and she already was uploading content, and she has like hundreds of thousands of followers, and suddenly she's like, oh look, I'm actually disabled. No, vice versa. She's like, oh, suddenly she has Down syndrome.
Oh, what was it?
Exactly. So, and I was like, what? We didn't know. It's like, you can clearly see like 5 videos ago that she's fine. And then you can see 5 videos later that she's like, oh, look, I'm actually like, I have Down syndrome, like suddenly, because that's a hype.
Dear Lord.
Yeah. And people were like, oh no, you poor girl. Here's, buy my course.
Did she not know what Down syndrome is?
That's the point, that they basically, these like traps, they basically, these accounts, they delegitimize the rest of the people who actually have Down syndrome and actually speak up. No one's gonna believe them anymore because they will think that those people have a filter. Insane. And there's like, oh, you don't have Down syndrome, turn off the filter. Like, what? I know, this is sad. How did we make this twist?
Oh, great.
Do you have anything else?
I have something more bleak.
Oh yeah, okay, top it up.
Anyway, a researcher analyzed 100 extremist terrorist manifestos.
Ooh, I was watching something similar about, okay, tell me. Maybe it's the Unibomber.
No. The 100 different, compiled them together.
Okay.
And scanned the data. And basically all of them have some sort of psychosexual content in them. So basically the idea is that no matter whether they're talking about like, I'm doing this for politics, I'm doing this for immigration, I'm doing this for this, the one common thread is that they all like have some weird psychosexual thing inside the manifesto. So it'll be like, when it's about immigrants or something, they'll suddenly be like, oh, they're taking our women. If it's gonna be about like political correctness or this, or being like, I support this candidate, it's always that like, oh, these damn women are saying this about him.
Wow, so
misogyny is the gateway drug is one of the subtitles in this.
If you're a psychopath, you're probably deprived a little bit.
And the reason I bring this up in this podcast is that, even though we don't usually cover this, is it's also a big internet model right now, which is get angry about the other gender, men get angry about women, women get angry about men, and then like you farm content out of it, but it's breaking people's brains as well.
That's true, because you kind of synthesize that content and you start consuming this content online. Thank you, algorithms, for doing that.
Yeah.
And then you just become a misogynist, for example, or like more on the male part. That's what Andrew Tate did, right? Like, he basically capitalized on insecurities of all the guys and said, hey, you guys have to do this, that, and this is how it should work.
And then he took massive money from political campaigns to push right-wing stuff.
Yeah, additionally.
Like, he's like, I've built my audience by saying all of this stuff. Now I'm going to lead them down a path.
Yeah, well, sounds very similar, but I was reading about analysis of the Unibomber manifesto, who basically did it in the 90s or something, so before internet was a thing, let's put it this way, or as widespread. And he basically predicted like Black Mirror episodes in a way about, the politics becoming right-wing. what you just mentioned about Andrew Tate and then the right wing kind of onboarding of insecure men, misogyny. He also said that there's going to be a complete split between genders or between society or social like sectors. He said,
Oh yeah.
and like becoming less liberal. And he basically Unabomber wrote that in his manifesto as well and got arrested for it. Even though I don't know, did he do anything?
Yeah. He blew it up. Ted Kaczynski blew it
Yeah,
up.
here you go. Yeah, but then like when they analyzed it, like he was like completely crazy. But that's why I mentioned it. I was
Oh, yeah.
curious if maybe he was in there, and I'm curious if he like in this research and if he did anything about
So
what they mentioned.
the study contains all the manifestos present from 1966
Ooh.
to 2025.
Wow.
So gender identity-driven violence appeared in nearly 40% of them. The violent beliefs were either a primary or a significant secondary motivator for the attack. This includes direct expressions of hatred towards women, trans and queer people, and references to feminist or LGBTQ plus movements. So all of them had some of this. This was like the greatest hits, for all of them.
Wow.
There's also that entire issue that a lot of these people were like incel adjacent people. Like, what was his name? Elliot Rogers. This was the guy who shot up a university. And then he was like, "Oh, boo-hoo-hoo, women don't appreciate me."
It's all the
sat in his
same.
car and he took a video of himself whining.
Oh my god, I think we're so screwed.
Oh yeah. No, I mean this isn't gonna get better. Between this and the T app.
Oh my god, yeah, T app is like a lighter version of this, but
I think the T app is a result of this.
It's a gateway.
No, I think genuinely, if this is what women should be afraid of, the T app existing, that's an argument for it.
And another guy hacking it and then going, writing a manifesto after this.
I'm not anti-privacy, but I understand the emotion behind having that app then.
That's true.
After reading this, But at the same time, it's just like, okay, that's not something I think you can solve. They're always like, oh, you can solve terrorism by doing this, by doing that. I don't think this is something you can in any way solve.
I agree. I think you just have to be careful. But the T app, don't use T app though.
Yeah. I mean, other signifiers inside this was a fear of cultural Marxism. That was really common.
Interesting.
And disdain for liberal elites. And the belief that violence is necessary to awaken the public. So all of these, if you're seeing that a lot, watch out.
This is that last one I did not expect.
Yeah, well, I mean, awaken the public, everyone says that from the most... I think that one's a bit of like a double negative. You know why?
Why?
But when there's like a politician running for anything, they say we need to awaken the public. The left-wingers say it, the centrists say it, the right-wingers say it. So this is just like a common cliche that's present in all sorts of political speech.
Make America great again.
Making something great again is another one, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for listening. This was part 1 where we discussed the news, and join us for the second part where we're going to be discussing the augmented reality and reshaping the marketing landscape from novelty to necessity.
See ya.
See ya.